Hi, hello and welcome to the Marylebone Road. It's Madam Two Swords and Baker Street Station. But I'm not going to be doing all of that lot. I'm doing this road here, which is called Chiltern Street. Now I often walk down this road because it's a sort of quiet route to go to a shop where I buy a yogurt once in a while. I'm not going to mention the brand because that's sort of advertising. But anyway, I having sort of done a few videos in central London, I thought I would do one down here because it's quite nice. It's picturesque and a street that perhaps doesn't get an awful lot of press. There's a few interesting things, but the main thing is a rather sort of genteel, I would say this is Edwardian architecture, rather elegant sort of townhouses for those who are well heeled, and even more so these days. Rather nice architecture. Now, coming up here to this pillar box, a rather rare thing because it has a post office finger pointing to the nearest post office. It used to be quite a common thing, but not so much these days. And the post office will still be down there on what is Baker Street. So there's a little opportunity to have a look at the architecture again at David Muse. That's a little cut through. I could go down there. No, I couldn't because it's blank at the end. But it's all quite dainty, isn't it, really, for want of a better description. So there is a blue plaque down here which is interesting to perhaps some, but not necessarily all. It's alright, I haven't gone mute. Here's this block's quite interesting with the sort of castellations above the entrance. You see, look. Sort of reinforcing that idea of an Englishman's home is his castle. Of course, it should be English persons, but there you go. These days. Across the road here we have what was a dispensary. Don't know the history of it. I'm sure you could look it up and find out. And what is a new entrance into a self-realisation fellowship. We have another piece of old sort of ghost signage of sorts. It's Portman Chapel Schools. So I assume that dispensary was connected with that. And then right up against that you've got quite a shockingly modern piece of architecture, really breaking up what's down here with all this traditional stuff. You suddenly get that. There may be a clue as to what was on that site over the road there. What is an entrance to the Westminster Council, City of Westminster street cleansing depot. So possibly there may have been something on this site that was to do with the council, and it may not have been a very attractive building, who knows. Sorry about the zooming in and out. So I'm doing this at about 7:45 in the morning before I go to work. Sorry about the wind noise. It's a bit gusty. Weather's better today. It was quite a miserable, grey, wet day yesterday. We're nearly into June. So I'm going to try and cross here. It'll be a bit dicey. Right, so we're now on to, this is again Chiltern Street. Got another modern block here on the corner. Let's cross over so you get a better view of the other side of the road, because quite a nice old shop fronts. It's a really charming looking hardware shop called Webster's on the other side of the road there. See that there? Which I don't know whether it's always been called Webster's, quite possibly. Now I'm just getting up to where the blue plaque is, and again it may be something that might be of interest to some, but not to necessarily others. There's something to do with driving in cars, and in fact what it is a blue plaque for Sir Henry Seagrave. As it says, the world speed record holder, and he lived here for 3 years between 1917 and 1920. Now, off the top of my head, I can't remember what his car was called, but it was a period of time in the 20s and 30s when everybody seemed to be wanting to chase that record, including Malcolm Campbell, who was probably the most famous exponent of the, or British exponent of the land speed records with the Bluebird series of cars. So Henry Seagrave's car was either the Golden Arrow or possibly the Sunbeams, the red Sunbeams, I can't remember. But again, you can look that up. But it was quite a character, I should imagine. You'd have to be, driving cars at the speeds they were driving at. Nice doorway there. So we've got some more shop fronts down here. Again, it's Chiltern Street and just continues on. It's a very nice part of London. And I suppose, I don't know what the area is actually called. My ignorance is appalling at times. But look at this lovely red brick. Look at the detailing up the top here, where the gutter pipes are coming out of that man's mouth, and there's a series of those going. Well, there's only two actually. Oh no, there's some more up there. Hang on, along there. So yeah, so these lovely shop fronts, which continue to be shops. Which I could walk the whole length, couldn't I? He's got too much time on his hands. That one's quite a nice one. Looks like it is old. It's hard to tell these days. Oh, look, there's John Simmons, or John Simons rather. Rather nice knitwear. I haven't actually been down here. I normally turn off before this point. But yes, it's all, I suppose it's getting towards the Marylebone area, is it? Gosh, look at the cars though. Not these, but we go Porsche, and then a Rolls Royce, just like that. So yeah, we're into the very well-heeled part of London. Nice little shoe shop, and we've got a whiskey shop over there. Look at that. Whiskey shop. I'm not a whiskey drinker, by the way. I'm a bit of a peasant, really. I tend to drink beer, and that's about it. Oh look, monocle. Run out of pavement on this side of the road. Yeah. So actually, that down there might in fact be, let's have a look. I think I recognise this road. Blandford Street. Nice pub down there. I could walk on forever, couldn't I? I'm not going to. So yes, that's what I might do is just pause and take you down a bit of the street that I'm going onto. So just do that now. Now just a moment to take contrast here. Look, we have a Rolls Royce and we have a posh shoe shop for ladies. And then there's a man who is homeless sleeping in front. He's ex-army. All the information on there. I'm not going to make a thing about him or anything. My issue here is, look, if you want the contrast with this part of London, there we go. All the money in the world and no money in the world. Bit of social commentary there from me. Horrible, really. But it's increasingly common everywhere, really, but in London it's really noticeable, the amount of people who are living on the street now. There always used to be lots of people living on the street, but there's now more and more and more. And I don't know, should I go into some great diatribe about it? I just thought that maybe having a Labour government come in, that things might start to be looked at, but I keep on promising things and that's all it ever is. Right, so this is the street I'm going to be going down to. It joins onto the corner of Baker Street. I wanted to capture the Barley Mow pub, which is, you couldn't get more of a pub than that, could you really? And it was a heritage inn at one point. It was a Nicholson's heritage inn. Don't know when, but I don't think it's Nicholson's anymore. It's going to get run over by someone. Ugh. Right. This is the oldest pub in Marylebone. There you go, so proof that we are in the Marylebone area. And we have Kenrick Place, which is some more Muse stuff. So there you go. Thank you for your company as I wandered around the posher parts of London. And I'm now going to get my yogurt in the shop here. There you go. Thanks for watching.